Hey Fit Bottom friends, I'm Allison. I'm here for Fit Bottom World at Thrive Yoga, which is my home studio. It's where I teach, it's where I practice in Rockville, Maryland. Today I want to spend a little time helping you to master mountain pose, or as it's known in Sanskrit, Tadasana. Now if you've ever seen mountain pose before, it kind of looks like you're just standing there. But don't be fooled. I assure you, you are not just standing there. There's really a lot more going on in the pose than what it looks like from the outside. Mountain pose is really great for helping us to learn that balance between effort and ease, something I am still working on. But it's also the pose that's going to give you the strongest standing poses. So it's really a foundational pose for your tree pose, your dancer pose, and all of your warrior poses. Mountain pose will help you to build a solid foundation, help you to feel grounded so you can have really strong standing poses. So what do you say? You ready to give it a try? All right, so let's start at the top of the mat. You're gonna bring your feet about hips width distance apart. For most people, that's about 4 to 6 inches. If you have some trouble with spacing of that, you can take your fist and place it between your arches. So it'll be about a fist distance between your arches, or a little bit wider for more stability. Okay? So then take the pinky toe side of both of your feet and move them so that they're parallel to the outer edge of your mat. It's gonna feel a little bit like you're pigeon-toed here. Okay, so that your toes are coming in further, but just make sure that your outer edge of your foot, outer edge of your mat are parallel on both sides. And what this should do is create a situation where your heels are directly behind your second and third toes, which is exactly where I want them to be. So if that's happening, you're on the right track. So feel the weight of your body and your feet sort of rock back and forth a little bit. We want to try to find a place on our feet where we're equally distributing the weight between the front and the back of the foot. So you're not leaning all of your weight back into your heels, and conversely, you're not putting it all into the toes of your feet, so your toes have to really grip hard, okay? So find that place where you're evenly distributing weight between front and back of your feet. Lift up your toes and spread them out, just to help you keep from gripping the ground with your toes, and then just lay them down gently. And then I want you to imagine that you're taking the inside of your ankles, so the ankles that are on the inside of your legs, one on each leg. Imagine that you're trying to lift them both up. So you're pressing down into your feet in order to lift those inner ankles up. That'll help you find your arches. So you'll find the support of your arch at the bottom of your foot. Right? It'll feel almost like a suction cup that's being pulled away from the floor. This is your stabilization in your foot. So you want to find that arch, sort of moving your inner ankles up and away from each other to sort of create that stability in your foot. Right? So your legs should be straight. That does not mean that you should lock your knees. Okay, so if you're habitually one of those people like me that tends to lock your knees and hyperextend your legs whenever you need support, try not to do that here. What we're going to do is we're going to keep our legs as straight as we can, maybe a little micro bend if you tend to hyperextend your knees and rest into them. But your legs are going to be straight, so don't lock your knees up or lean into the back of your knees. Keeping your legs as straight as you can, keeping that arch lifted, all right? So activate your thighs. So you're going to sort of fire up your thighs, and that'll make your kneecaps lift. Your kneecaps lift. Kind of lift up towards your thighs, up towards your hips. All right, now look down at where the inseam of your pants is. If you don't have an inseam, imagine you do. You know what an inseam is, right? So the seam that runs up the inside part of your leg, of your pants, we're going to imagine that we're going to take that and roll it back towards the wall behind us. And what that does is it creates an internal rotation of your thighs. So basically taking that, rolling your thighs in towards each other, and you're going to feel your hips in the back begin to spread. Right? So you're going to feel like your seat's a little wider when you do that. Now, one other thing you probably noticed happen was that your hips began to sort of dump forward. So you got this arch in your lower back. So what we want to do with that is imagine or put your fingers on your hip bones, and then bring your thumbs up to your low ribs so you can feel all 4 points there. And then take your hips, so this lower part, these hip bones, and pull them up like you're trying to shorten the space between your ribs and your hip bones, okay? That should help you to reach your tailbone down away from the crown of your head. So that'll take your hips, it'll make sure that they're both pointing in the same direction. You have a little bit of activation through your legs and through your hips to sort of hold this nice neutral pelvis. So your hips are stacked over your ankles. Your hip bones are pointing straight ahead, so they're not rolling upward and they're not rolling down. There's a neutral position there that you'll find through practice. So pull your belly button back towards your spine. I did not say suck it in, so don't take a big inhale, pull your belly in and sort of hold it and then not breathe. I want you to just take your belly button, very softly engage it, sort of pulling it back towards your spine. And then lift your chest, lift your sternum up. Try to keep your low ribs in, so don't let them poke out over your hips. So pull them in, keep them, bring them in, keep them over your hips. Stack them up, but lift your sternum. So you're actually gonna lift sort of the top of your chest up. And you're gonna spread your collarbones wide. So bring your shoulders out away, roll your shoulders up towards your ears, and then down and back and around. Okay, that creates space between your ears and your shoulders. Sort of keeping those collarbones spread wide open here in the front. Arms are gonna be at your side, thumbs point away from your body, fingertips reach to the ground. All right, so that'll help pull your shoulders down. So see, as soon as I start to reach through my hands, my shoulders come away from my ears. So reaching down through your fingers, then you're gonna keep your neck nice and long, chin is parallel to the floor. If you tend to drop your chin or raise it, it's really bad for breathing in this position, makes it a little more difficult. So just keep your chin nice and level, that we keep the airway open. Okay, so your head is directly over your tailbone, head reaches towards the sky, tailbone reaches down, fingers reach down. Look straight ahead, but try to keep your eyes relaxed and soft. So sometimes the tendency is for us to sort of, we're focused, so we laser beam eyes, we kind of squint, and we get real tense in the face. Soften your eyes, soften your gaze, or even just close your eyes. Just stay here for about 30 to 60 seconds. Breathing in through your nose and out through your nose.